to get started on the Jacob's ladder, we need to make a foundation chain. Just before we get started, I do appreciate that this is white and it might be a bit difficult to see on the white background, but there is a reason why I want to do white because I want to change colours partway through the tutorial. Anyway, to start the Jacob's ladder, you need to work a foundation chain in multiples of 5 plus 2. So for this tutorial or project that I'm working on, I've chained 37. And I'm going to be using US crochet terms. And I'm going to start with a double crochet, which in the UK is a treble crochet. So to get started, we just need to make a double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So we don't count the chain on our hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And you're just going to make a double crochet in each chain all the way to the end of this row. I am going to go away and do that, then I'm going to meet you back and we can move on to our next row. Once we've finished our row of double crochets, our work should be looking something like this. We are going to chain 1 and turn our work, and we're going to go back along the top of our stitches with single crochets. So in the UK this is a double crochet, in the US it's a single crochet. So insert your hook in every stitch all the way along, make a single crochet, and I'll meet you back at the end of this row and we move on to the row where we start to build our Jacob's ladder. So once you get to the end of your row of single crochets, don't forget to go into the top of that turning chain. The turning chain in this stitch pattern counts as a stitch, so we're going to do a single crochet in there. I'm not going to finish mine off because I'm going to change colour here. And in this pattern, if you'd like to change colours, the best place to change colour is probably at the end of your single crochet rows, which will make more sense as we build. So to start this row, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and I like to call this our double crochet row, and that again will make more sense as we move on the pattern. So this is where our pattern repeat comes in. So this stitch counts as your stitch, and we're going to do double crochets in groups of 5. So this is 1, so we're going to go into our next stitch for 2, 3, 4 and 5. Once we've made 5 double crochets, we are going to chain 10. And 10. So now we've made a chain of 10, we want to slip stitch back into the top of that double crochet there. I like to slip stitch through the top of the double crochet and then just through the side of it, so it's those 2 loops there. Just make a slip stitch, but you can go back in here to make a slip stitch. I just like it to be on the front of the work. And put it through. And then we're going to make another set of 5, and you're just going to continue. So on your 5th double crochet, you are going to chain 10, and then you're going to carry on and make another set of 5, chain 10 on your 5th, slip stitch, etc. So we are on our 5th one here. I'm just going to grab myself some more yarn. Sorry. So we've got another set of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and we're going to chain 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, and then we're going to slip stitch. And again, I like to slip stitch into these 2 loops here, but if you can't see this loop on the stem of your double crochet, then of course go into the actual stitch there. It doesn't make a difference, I just I'm a bit fussy. So after you've made another chain of 10 and you've made your slip stitch, then you're going to do another group of 5, and you're just going to double crochet, sorry, and you're just going to repeat this pattern all the way to the end of this row, where I will then meet you back and show you how to move on to the next row. I'll do one more set of 5 with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, one more, and then I'll leave you to do the rest of the row by yourself. So once we've done 5, chain 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, whoop, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then make that slip stitch into the top of that double crochet. Okay, and your work should start to look like this with these loops that come off, and those, what we do with those loops will become more apparent as we build our work. So I'm almost at the end. I've done 4 double crochets here, and I'm just going to do one more in there, and then we're going to chain 1. And just before we turn our work, I just want to show you what mine is looking like so that you can see and obviously compare it to your own swatch or project that you make. So at the moment it is just looking like rows of stitches and some loops. It will build, so don't worry if it looks a bit strange or different. It will build and turn into a wonderful project. So we're turning our work, and we are just going to do a row of single crochets. We are going to do these single crochets in groups of 5, just like our double crochets, and this will help you with the spacing. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 into the top, the last one into the top there. So I'll crochet along with you, single crochets on this row, 1, 2, 3, sorry, I need to get small yarn, 4, and then for the 5th one just hold that loop out of the way so that you can get to it, 5 in there, and then when you start on your 5 on the other side, your first one is going to be in here. So if you hold your loop behind, just pull it down a bit so it's not in the way, and do your single crochet in there, 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you need to, pull on that loop to stretch that stitch so you can see stitch 5, and then start again on the other side, holding that loop out of the way, into that first stitch just on the other side of that loop for 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold that loop out of the way for 5. And you just need to continue that way, creating your single crochets all the way to the end of the row, and then I'm going to come back to you. We're going to change colour again at the end of the row, and we're going to build another loop row. So I'm just at the end of my row here. I've inserted my hook into the last stitch, and I'm going to yarn over with the new colour just to finish off this row. And then I'm just going to chain 3 to bring it up to the next row. So that was our single crochet row, and then this next row here is going to be what I like to call the double crochet row, which is our loop row again. So again, this counts as your first stitch here of the row, and we're going to do 5 groups of 5, and on the 5th one we're going to chain 10 just like we did before. So into the first stitch, 1, so that counts as 1, so 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then we're going to chain 10, grab myself some more yarn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then just slip stitch into the top like we did before of that double crochet to create your loop. You can just hold that loop down, hold it out of the way, crochet your next 5, chain 10. So I'm going to leave you there. I'm going to continue this row all the way to the end, meet you back for one more double crochet row, and then show you what my alternating colours are looking like, and I will leave you to build your project or swatch from there. I'll see you in a minute. So the end of this row should be looking similar to how your loopy row from before looked. Once you've got to the end, we need to create our next row, which is a single crochet row. So chain 1 and turn your work. Still using the white if you're changing colour, so still using your same colour. Single crochet in groups of 5 in each stitch along. So in the UK this is known as a double crochet. So all the way up to your loop, then hold your loop on the front of your work and start your next group of 5 in the stitch after the loop. 2, 3, 4, and you might have to pull your loop over, remember, just to see that last stitch, number 5. Put the loop to the front of your work and then continue. And that's it. That's the Jacob's ladder. So there's a double crochet row, which is this loopy row. So in double crochet in groups of 5 on the 5th stitch, chain 10, then slip stitch and chain a double crochet another 5. And your next row is just a row all the way along of single crochet. Just makes it easier to push those loops forward if you work the single crochets from behind in groups of 5. So as you can see, I've built my swatch up a little bit. I just wanted to show you how to finish off this stitch pattern and what it looks like on a bit of a bigger scale. So I have done here my double crochet loop row and then my row of single crochet, and I've gone to change colour here, and I will come back to that in a minute. Just want to create the Jacob's ladder with you. So we've got these loops and we actually want to make the ladders. So in order to do that, we're taking the loops and we're threading them through the ones in front and pulling it through. So I'll show you that one again. So take the second one, not the first one, and put the second one through the back of the first one, and then the third one through the back of the second one, the fourth one through the back of the third one, and so on all the way up until you get to the top. Now if you've ever done any finger knitting or knitting with loopy yarn, then it's exactly the same thing. And it's pretty easy to create this, which is it's always nice to have an easy stitch, isn't it? There we go. So then once you've done this for all of it, your work should start to look a little something like this, and you can see the ladder's starting to build. I'm going to go ahead and make my ladders now, and I will meet you back in a couple of seconds when I have completed them, and then we'll move on to the last couple of rows. Once all your ladders are built, your swatch or project should look similar to this. If it doesn't, you can always pause and rewind the video, go back and then meet me back here once it matches. So to create the last couple of rows and to anchor these top loops down, our next row is just going to simply be a row of double crochets. So where we were doing our rows, say here, of double crochets with every 5th one having a loop on top of it, we're not going to do the loop, we're just going to do one row across of double crochet. So I've already joined my colour and started. So one double crochet, that's not a good start, one double crochet in each stitch across. And I'll meet you back at the end for our next row, which will anchor the loops down and finish off our work. Once you've completed your row of double crochet, just take a second to make sure that none of your loops are twisted and all of the ones at the top are in. I mean, sometimes it's very easy for them to just pop out, especially when you're working over them. Okay, so we're going to chain one, and we are going to do a single crochet row, but we're also going to anchor down those loops at the same time. So we're going to be working in groups of 5, just like we have done throughout the pattern before. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 single crochets. And now on the 5th one, we are going to catch that loop. So that loop there. So we're going to do, just put your yarn through it and make your single crochet. So that's on stitch single crochet number 5. Also on, when you're counting in your next group, so number 1, you're going to go into that loop as well for a single crochet. So working in groups of 5 on stitch 5 and 1, we're going to catch our loops. Obviously there won't be a loop at the start or at the end, but everything in between on stitch 5 and 1, we're going to pick up those loops. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're back to stitch 5. So pick up that loop from behind and just put your hook through it, and then complete your single crochet as normal. And then into the next stitch, which will be number 1, you're going to do exactly the same thing to create the anchors for your loops. And they will sit nicely now. They'll just sit like that. As long as your work doesn't come undone, they are secure. So we're going to continue that all the way to the end, and then we're going to fasten off. So I'll do one more with you. So we've done stitch 1 out of our next group. 2, 3, 4, pick up our next loop, 5, and our next one, which is number 1, we're going to go back into that loop, and that's our next one anchored down. And start again, 2, 3, 4, grab that loop for 5, and then 1, you're going to grab that loop as well, and that's anchored your next one down. So I'm just going to meet you back at the end so I can show you the finished swatch and fasten off with you. So here's the finished piece. I've finished and fastened off my work. I absolutely love this stitch. It gives an amazing texture, and the loops really just do add that something extra. Thank you so much for joining me on this tutorial. If you could please like, share this video with your friends and subscribe if you want to see more. I'll catch you soon.